Hello, you beautiful human you. I hope you've had an amazing week. I thought we would chat all about how to get into more consistent content creation. I have had a lot of different clients and folks ask me how I'm able to post as consistently across platforms like I do, how to get into creative mode when you're not feeling it, and a whole host of things related to those topics. So I thought I would hop on this week and share with you some of my tips and tricks. First tip, where are you starting from? Have you created content before? Have you been doing this for a while, but you're really just not very consistent at it? Or you just want to be able to create content on your own time frame and your own schedule and when you feel creative and feel like you're not having to force it. So, if you haven't ever made content before, maybe start out with a goal of posting once a week. Once a week. Don't worry about those people saying you have to post 3 times a day on this specific day at this time for the magic to unfold. Start small. Dipping your toes in. Why? Because if you choose to jump in and post every day or post 3 times a day, all of that, that's where your brain's getting clusterfucked. Like, it's like thinking about all of this stuff you have to do and the way that you have to do it, how often you have to do it, how is this ever going to work, and all of that stuff. And then you just stay stuck and you're never posting anyway, right? So, if you're not posting at all, start with once a week. If you're posting once a week or you're kind of inconsistent, figure out what's feasible for you and do maybe once or twice a week. Or, and then once you've done that for a few weeks and that feels decent, then you can move it up to 3 or 4 times a week until your being is acclimated to that and feels okay with that. And then you can move it up again. Like, it's a gradual process. Like, you don't have to throw yourself all in like a cannonball, because that's where it's causing an issue for your nervous system, and that's why your brain's doing that thing. The other tip I have is when you have creative bursts. So we as humans, we're not creative all the time. And I know, at least for me, for a long time, I would get this really great idea or this thing I wanted to share, or several things. And I would create the things and then I would put them out. I would just release them into the world right away or in a very short time frame. What I've learned, what I do now is oftentimes I find that I have creative bursts and ideas about what I'd love to create content around while I'm driving or while I'm doing stuff with my kids or I'm busy with other things. It would be really difficult for me to stop what I'm doing and go create that content. So what do? I have a Google Doc on my phone because most of my work and what I do, I'm primarily mobile. I'm not ever on a laptop unless I'm running a call or, tweaking ads in the back end, that kind of thing. So I open my Google Doc and I have one titled Insta Ideas because the main platform that I started with posting content on was Instagram. So I have that and I just jot down ideas. If I'm driving, I pull over, type in my idea or the little bit of an outline so I can jog my memory when I want to come back to that. And then on I go when I'm ready or I'm feeling like it. Now, if you're just starting, you haven't created content, it doesn't have to be face front content, right? It can be carousels, it could be Canva images, things like that. When I feel like it, I don't run myself on a schedule. If you run better by a schedule, just schedule it. I don't typically try to come up with the ideas and shoot the video and edit all in the same batches, or come up with the ideas, create it in Canva, schedule it, whatever. I don't do all of that at once because some of the different parts use different parts of my brain and your brain. So I come up with the ideas as as they come. And then I sit down and I batch, whether it's, creating stuff in Canva for carousels and static posts, or I batch reel content. I just started face front content. I've grown my homeopathy homesteading Instagram. I grew to 11K without ever doing face front reels. Yes, I showed my face in stories sometimes, but never a face front reel. It was always pre-recorded stuff that I would put text over. So I started face front reels about 3 months ago. My schedule now is doing a face front reel every other day, and in between I remix a funny haha reel that somebody else has done. Although now I'm getting to the point where I could technically post a face front reel every day and a funny haha one in the evening. So I'm almost to the point where I can create and have posts go up twice a day, but I'm not quite there yet. So have the ideas, batch the content. Even if you want to have everything pre-done before, and have it all situated, you can write out your text captions as well. Personally, for me, what works best for me is I have the ideas and I batch the actual content, and I batch editing because I do face front reels or short form content. And then the morning of, I work with chat. Like, I have the idea for the text, and I've worked a lot with my chat to make it sound like me. So it's not that I'm asking it to completely write the caption. It's basically I give it and then ask it to make it more feral and more concise, so it makes more sense. It's a better read, because my neurospicy, like, I love to say all the things and all of the fluff, and I want to be able to deliver text copy that is concise and to the point, that speaks in my ideal client's voice, but also has my flair to it. So that usually takes me just a few minutes to do prior to posting the reel. Personally, I don't schedule my stuff out as of right now. That could change in the future. I don't know. And so I have situated myself and gotten myself into the habit of, and at the beginning, if you're neurospicy especially, set an alarm. Like, if you're just posting once a week, set an alarm. Set an alarm for your batching, set an alarm for your editing, set an alarm for when you want to actually post. So that way you don't forget. That's what I had to do at the beginning. Like, I would have an alarm that goes off in the morning. The morning is easiest for me before all of my kids wake up, because most of them are preteens and teenagers now. So I get up and I have my cacao or my coffee, and that's what I do. I post my reel on Instagram, I repurpose it to YouTube, and then I either repurpose it or create a text version for LinkedIn. And no, I didn't start that way. So I started this new business Instagram about 4 months ago, something like that. And it took me a little while to even get to the point where I was like, I know I have to do face front reels. I don't want to have to do face front reels, just kind of like we were talking about last week, where like I knew I needed to go live. So like, and so I still get that, like that nervousness, that apprehension, like, is this the right thing? Am I going to do okay? But then I can remind myself of what's true. Like, yes, it's going to be messy as fuck. Like, it's not going to be perfect, but I also know that the more that I do it, the better I become. And the better the content becomes, the better my editing becomes, the better my text copy becomes, the better the video quality becomes, because I put in the reps. So I started doing face front reels. The first batch of face front reels are not my favorite. And it's just the same with the first YouTube that I posted, right? The worst YouTube video I will ever make, because it was my first one. So like, the first batch of face front content wasn't great. And that's okay. Second batch, I was messing around with like a prompter. So like, I had bullet points, like I don't script the whole thing, but I had bullet points going on the screen. And you could absolutely tell off and on that I was reading something off of a screen, right? The third batch that I did a week and a half ago, the eye contact with the camera is much better. Like, and I was playing around prior to that batching, like, do I need an eye correction thing? Do blah, blah, blah. Like, and I tried a couple and they were crap. And like, nah, this is not working for me. So I was like, I'm just going to do this next batch and see how it goes. So that batch, the eye contact was better. Still, sometimes it's a little funky, but again, as I do more, it will get better. And I also added in like taking my camera and moving it. So like the background changes in between sentences. So that gives more visual appeal. I played on a couple with adding transitions, the zoom out or the blur or the shake or like whatever. So like, I'm incrementally changing things up a little bit or playing with things to see what suits me best and what I like and what makes it more fun for me. And I also post the messy as fuck shit, like, because I know it's a learning curve. I know that that also helps other people, hopefully. Hopefully it gives you the permission slip to like just be messy, because messy action, I had this conversation with a friend a few days ago. It's like, I would wager, like, yes, we all know messy action is better than no action, but messy action also, I would almost put money on, is better than perfect action, because with messy action, you can take more messy action, evaluate and refine quicker than you taking perfect action, because taking perfect action is still going to take longer than messy action, and you might end up passing where you would have gotten if you can take messy action. It depends on the person, I suppose. And then also when you post it, like, that also shows other people that you're human. And I know like Instagram and every place is just like, oh, polished, shiny, whatever, all these like fancy AI like transitions and all of that. Like, and as a human, especially if you're like beginning or you're not to that level yet, that can feel really intimidating. That could be a mindfuckery thing. That's like, I can't do that, so I just might as well not do it. Don't do that to yourself. Don't do that to yourself. Life is a journey of growth. And so as long as you are growing every day and like making progress and learning things, then you're success. That's fucking amazing. Like, give yourself a pat on the back. There's so many humans in this world that just stay stuck. They're like, this is good. I'm comfortable in my misery. Like, would I like a change? Yeah, but I'm not willing to do the things and the work and push the growth edges and do harder things that are kind of scary so that I can get to where I actually want to be. So kudos to you. Pat yourself on the back for that. So I gave you the timeline on how I do my reels for Instagram. So like about a month in of doing the reels for Instagram, I started repurposing the face front ones, the face front short form video content to YouTube. So that was about every other day. And then about a month ago, I started also taking the text copy from my Instagram reels, like the text copy part, and expounding on it and posting that on LinkedIn occasionally. Then a month ago now, well, I guess that was it. When I'm recording this, it was only like 2 weeks ago, because I'm batching 2 long form videos in a row because my cycle starts next week and I know that I'm not going to feel up to or have to, I don't want to have to worry about it. So like, and I was stoked to share this with you because some folks have been asking me about it elsewhere. So I was like, I can just do 2 long form videos right back to back, and then I will post one on Sunday and then the next one next week. So like, I've been posting long form content on YouTube for 2 weeks now. So like, I'm gradually increasing what I do as I'm able and as it feels comfortable to me. Yes, pushing against growth edges slightly, but also like what I'm able to manage. So it's a little scary, but it's not like I'm like jumping full in and I need, you know, fancy thumbnails and an intro and all this other shit. Because I don't. I can just sit here and share what's on my heart, share parts of my story, and that's good enough. That's okay. And who knows what the future holds. I could one day have all the fancy shit or pay somebody to make me an intro, like whatever. But right here, right now, this is what I'm doing. So I started that. And then I switched it up on LinkedIn. I was like, okay, now I'm going to start posting the face front content every other day there as well. And then on the off days on LinkedIn, I take the text blurb from the funny haha remix reel that I post on Instagram, and I have chat help me feral it up and make it longer with descriptive analogies and like community based. So asking questions and things like that to get people, you know, thinking about things in a slightly different way. So there's ways, you know, I do use chat sometimes to help me refine things and to help me whatever, but I'm also, you will not ever guess how many times I've had to tell it to be more feral and to sound less like chat and to like make tweaks and whatever. But I will tell you that all of that effort that I've put into that and the practicing with it and all of that has been well worth it. So I do use that to help me save time. But also, like, when I batch things, when I'm creative and I don't release them right away, like, I have a backlog. Like, I'm not even through, like, the last batch I did 14 face front reels in the span of like half hour, 45 minutes. I'm halfway through those. But I had a creative, like I was feeling creative and I came up with these ideas the other day. So I have 16 more ideas. They're all like with the bullet points and ready to go in my prompts thing whenever I feel ready to batch those. And like I just told you, I just did the video that you will have seen last Sunday, but it's this Sunday for me that I'm going to be posting it. And I'm doing this video now because I know for myself that I want to show up as the best human possible for you when I'm sharing these things. And I'm stoked and excited to talk about this right now. So I can record this right now and then I just hold on to it. Like, I'm fine to edit it next week and whatever, but like, this is the part that takes the most time for me. Typically editing is kind of a, you know, you don't ever see like long pauses while my neurospicy brain contemplates and like has to like catch up with my mouth and all of that other stuff. Like, those things get edited out. Or the fact that I just had to start a new clip. Like, ideally for me, what's easiest is for me to record everything, even the pauses, or if my kid knocks on the door, like all in one clip, because then I can watch it in my editing app on my phone. I edit these on my phone and I can just like chop it, right? And take that out. It's much easier for me than like trying to compile a bunch of clips together after the fact. And I can stay congruent, right? Like, I'm not having to reach up here and like push the record and, or, you know, worry about that. Like, I can just do it all in one fell swoop. But I just had an alarm go off actually for the idea for this video, because I knew I wanted to record it and I got a late start for some other reason. So like, shit's gonna happen. Like, I'm gonna have 2 different clips now to mash together for this video. But there are certain ways, you know, to be able to set yourself up for success so you don't have to feel like you have to create content all the time. And even when you don't want to create content, because like I just mentioned, I think a few minutes ago, like, your energy and what you exude, especially if you're making face front content, but even I would challenge you, like, even when you're creating like static posts and like images and, you know, things like that, the words you choose and the way you do it, like, your energetic feel comes out through that. So I want to challenge you to get yourself to the point where you are creating when you're inspired to create and not forcing yourself to create, because that energy will come through and affect how people, like, if they stay around, if they swipe, if they watch the whole video or even the first 3 seconds. Because if you just come here and like, you can tell you're kind of forcing it. Like, I can't even force it because I'm excited to talk to you about this, right? So like, I can't give you the actual visual, but you know, you've seen people that are just, you know, following the motions and checking off the box and, you know, whatever. Whereas if you see somebody who's excited to share and like really has that energy vibe, like going around, like, you can feel it through the screen. So I want to challenge you to get to the point where you can create when you are feeling creative. And then I had somebody else ask me yesterday, like, how do you get in the creative zone? Like, if you're in a rut. I just told you at the beginning of the video, like, oftentimes I get creative bursts when I'm driving, when I'm doing things not related to business at all, while I'm with my kids, like, you know. So that comes back to the point we talked about a few videos ago, I believe, about scheduling yourself in rest time. Like, making sure that you are taking time for yourself where you're not worried about business, you're not thinking about business or your to-do list or anything else. Making time to get outside, get your feet on the grass, like bare feet, sunshine in your eyeballs, moving your body, like getting off this thing, you know. Those are some ways. Like, I also really like to listen to loud music, whether it's I'm driving in the car and listening to something, going to get a coffee, like, do something for yourself. And when you are able to do that, oftentimes you will find that the bursts of creativity come. But also, your things that make you feel more creative may be different than mine, and that's okay too. Like, be willing to play around, like try different things and see what works for you. And also, even if you found those things, always still be willing to try something new. Because just because you've been doing the same things, like that also helps with a growth mindset too. Like, don't be afraid to try something different. See how it goes. Maybe it works better, maybe it doesn't. But that's what makes life interesting. Okay, so I've rambled enough for this week. I hope this was helpful for you. Like, if something came up for you, like you have questions or you have thoughts, like I'd love to hear them down in the chat. And if you haven't followed along yet, hit the follow button. Really appreciate it. And I hope you have a freaking amazing week.